Hello everybody, welcome to my new trade recap of last week. I ended with 4.3% positive, so that was a very nice week. So I will go over the pairs now that I took. So on the weekly on AUDNZD, this was a trade that was still running and that we needed to have a lot of patience of is AUDNZD. So what did we get on the weekly? On the weekly, we had here our low and here our high. We had an impulse. So we could take our FIB from this low here till this high, and it is between the weekly FIB level 61.80 and 78.60. So we have already one criteria with us. Then the next one, the supply and demand zone here was with us because we started here with a very nice impulse, bullish impulse. We went back till the same lows, and then we had that next candle bullish. Then I was seeing, okay, from where or which supply and demand zone did we get that such buyers? And you could see here, this was clear resistance here, resistance, and here that nice support that had some nice bullish orders in it. So that's why we went here also to the upside and here back to the downside, because here we had still sellers, and this was also a clear supply and demand zone that was holding the price down. So this was a clear supply and demand zone, and we tapped then the second time bullish, so we had some space till that weekly selling zone again here, so we could take it. So this was 2 out of 4, and then we had the trend. The trend for me, you can see this also as a high and this a new low, but I saw this also as a shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, and then here your next impulse from this low till this high. So this can be also your bullish trend here. So it's a perspective if you can see it, but yeah, the trend could also be bearish for some people, some bullish, but for me it was more bullish looking from that impulse here that started with that supply and demand zone. And yeah, it was already 2 out of 4, so this was just an extra indication. So then I went to the daily, and on the daily, what can you see? We have a pattern within a pattern and the clear supply and demand zone. So we have here our shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, and then this bullish M within that, so pattern within a pattern, plus we have here that clear supply and demand zone acting as support, resistance, 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 support, resistance, support, support, resistance, support. So it's a very nice supply and demand zone that we are not seeing that much. So this is a well-respected zone. So that's why this trade has a higher chance to play out, with also this kind of ascending trend line still holding the price up. So then I went till the 4-hour chart because we had our daily zone, we tapped it, so I went till the 4-hour. And on the 4-hour, what can you see? We had here also a pattern within a pattern, very nice patterns we had. We had here our shoulder 1, this head, then here the shoulder 2, we entered here. So this was our entry point. And then you had here also that bullish M with you, and you had here also some resistance in this head, so it's working like a supply and demand zone. So very nice trade, stop loss under this previous higher low here to be safe, just under it, and then we went to the upside. So this trade, I took everything out on around here, because I was already running almost 10% at this trade, 8%, so 8 and 9% on my forex fund. So I closed all the trades. I think it was around here. I closed it for around 4%, something like that. Then this was a trade, and on my 200k, this is still running. I was waiting till a daily TP to get hit where the sellers are kicking from that daily point here where the sellers are here, and the false breaks and these subtle taps here which activated some sellers here. So this is the region where I want to take profits, and now we are forming that natural M, same highs, same lows. So natural M fake out with that bullish M holding the price up here. So we will see what will happen after that. So this was AUDNZD. Then GBPUSD was a trade for me for going to the downside. So what we had here on the weekly, for some people it's still bullish. For me, it was a clear break under this previous higher low. This was a break, so for me it was indicational bearish. So I could count that with me that the trend is bearish. So, and we had also that smaller pattern here, that bearish W, that first leg, second leg, third leg, and then you had here your lower highs that got tapped. So this bearish W could play out, and then we went to the downside. So we had our trend with us. Our previous candle close was really bearish, and our supply and demand zone here that got tapped, this acting as resistance, support here, resistance, sellers, and again here sellers. So if you look back, if I take my horizontal line, you can see also here some clear supply and demand zone acting as support, support, resistance, resistance, support. So very nice zone. Then I went to the daily, and on the daily you can see you have your bigger bearish W. So what I can see, you have here that bigger bearish W, your first leg here, second leg, third leg, fourth leg coming back, and we had a pattern within a pattern. You had that shoulder 1 here, had shoulder 2, so we can trade that with decel, all the patterns, and you had a descending structural trend line holding the price down, tapping this nicely, going to the downside till daily lows. So then I went to the 4-hour because our pattern is clear. We have a big bearish W. We can trade all the patterns with that pattern within a pattern. And you can see what we received was this diesel. We received this diesel with our first candle, second candle, third candle is a red candle in the direction we want to look at, the short. And then on the next candle, we could enter here. So we could enter on this candle forming. When this was opening, we could enter, stop loss 10 pips above the wicks, and then we went to the downside, took also it fully out here, something there, because I was running 8-9% on my forex fund, so I wanted to take that with me. And this trade is also still running on my 200k account. I took some partials here out because I had here some support, here resistance, support, so buyers kicking in every time you were coming from that point with that 4-hour TP minus 27 that was sitting here. If I take the fib from the high here to the low, you can see that the minus 27 is sitting there, so it was a very major zone to take some partials at. So that's why I was taking here some partials, and now we are touching the daily low, so there could be a potential upside move. But if you take the beginning of correction, this is the beginning of correction, so we can tap this first. There's a high chance to 90%. So the price is still bearish for me on the daily, so we can have that push, potentially going to a daily TP, or going back up and make that shoulder 1 here, head shoulder 2, which is possible. So then AUDCHF, this was the last one on my 50k account. So if I go to the weekly, what can you see on the weekly? The weekly, we have 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. You have your trend. The trend is bearish. You have this bearish W here. The trend is going to the downside. And you have that previous candle close, which was bearish for me. The only thing that was sitting against us was this fib completion and no clear supply and demand zone. Yeah, this was just a buying zone here, but not the clearest one for me, so I counted it against us or neutral. So 2 out of 4. Then I went to the daily, and on the daily, what could you see? I will delete this. You have a big bearish W. So you can take this as one impulse, so this as the first leg, then the second leg, then here the third leg, fourth leg coming back till that IC. So I just took my fib from this high here, IC, till this low, like this, and I saw this as your bearish W, but for me it was a big pattern, so I could take only a pattern. We had the retrace candle, we went to a daily IC here, we touched the daily IC, we went till a 4-hour. The only thing that also could play against us was this IC here, but we didn't tap it, so it was still good to go. And on the 4-hour, I saw here that nice bearish W. So what I saw here was your first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg coming back. If you take your fib from the high here to the low, you can see it like this. for our 61.80, not just tapping the first structure. So I just took this trade on the middle of the IC because we don't know if the price will react on the lows of the IC, the highs, or in the middle. So I just took the middle to be sure, and then stop loss, I guess 10 pips above it to be sure, because otherwise with 5 pips I would be out. And then we had the minus 27 fib completion, price went back, and then we were correctively going back to the upside. So this trade was playing out very nicely. So these were the trades I took. Some trades are open at my 200k account, so 4.3% positive. It was a nice week. So have a nice trading week, guys, and see you next week. Bye.